Hey everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today is the 23rd of January. It is the third paycheck of the month and I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys how I am breaking down this particular paycheck. So if you guys are interested in seeing how my budget looks like, then keep on watching. So with my budget, the first thing that I love to do and that keeps me super organized is to figure out what bills I have to pay for this particular paycheck using my bill tracker. And this is a worksheet that I had created and it just allows me to simplify my paycheck budgets. So I budget for the entire month and I use that as a guide. I like to plan where my money is going before the month begins, and that's something that Dave Ramsey, he talks about all the time. But then when I get paid, my paychecks tend to fluctuate a little bit, and I know many of you can relate to this. So I just didn't know, well, how much should I be applying to a particular paycheck for those bills? So this is a way that allows me to really simplify and make it so much easier for me to just look at the date and then go down the column and see how much I planned on setting aside for a particular paycheck so that I'm on time. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do here. And first thing, we just gotta figure out what these numbers are. So let me just go ahead and write in the payday. And then right here where it says beginning balance, this is the balance that I have left over from my bank account. So this is based on my available balance. And I have a video that I did where I talk all about using a checkbook register and how I balance out my checkbook. So if you guys are wanting to know, well, Lizzie, how do you come up with that number? Then go ahead and check out that video. I go into detail on 2 different apps that I use. But the beginning balance that I had in my bank account, the available balance, was $8.79. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and write that in, and then my pay that we are budgeting out for is $1,088.65. So now we're gonna go ahead and add up these 2 together to give us that total income that we're gonna use to break down this paycheck budget. So $879 plus $1,088.65. And that leaves us with a total balance of $1,097.44. So this part I have applied to my budget, my paycheck budgets, and it's really been very helpful. And I know many of you find it helpful as well. So let me explain this piece really quickly. So I had struggled finding out what is a proper number. What is the proper amount that I should be applying to my cash envelopes, how much I should be setting aside for savings, but I already knew how much I set aside for giving, and that is my 10% for tithe. Then my offering is just something that's above the tithe. What I have left over, I will feel to give a little bit more. So this is the 80-20 rule. There are many different rules out there, but this one really hit home to me and it really allowed me to change my mindset of budgeting, and it really simplified things using percentages. So we're gonna take what our total income is and we're gonna figure out what is 80% of that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now and show you guys. So the total income is the $1,097.44. But we need to figure out what is the 80%. Now 80% is what I use and what the goal really is, because not every paycheck I can do this because bills land in the first of the month or beginning of the month. So sometimes my paycheck will be really split up into just the expenses. But because of where my pays land, where I get paid twice a month, bi-monthly, my husband gets paid bi-weekly right now. So we're still adjusting a few things on that. But let's figure out what the 80% is, and that's what's going out. That's my expenses, variable expenses, fixed expenses. This is the amount that I want to live off of. I want to live and pay specific things based on 80%. So we're gonna take the income and we're gonna figure out what 80% is. So 80%, it says it's 877.952, but I'm just gonna round that up to 878. So I'm just gonna make that note right here. 80% is 878. So now the other 10% is my tithe. And then the last 10% to complete the 100 is what I would like to go towards savings, to my savings account, or you can use this to set aside for your debt, whatever you want, whatever your specific goals are, that's where you want to apply it. So I tithe based on my paycheck budget. So this is going to be a little bit different than this total income. So 10% of my total paycheck budget, I'm doing it as 109. So 1088, 10% of that is 108.865. But I want to just round that up, and I'm going to say that my tithe is going to be 109. So now we're still left with this 10%. So this amount, I'm just going to put whatever is the difference is going to go towards my savings. So if we take 878 and we add in the 109, okay, that gives us a total. 987 is what this comes out to. Whatever is left over, I plan on putting it towards my savings. You can plan on putting it towards savings or to debt or whatever you want, right? So it's all based on your personal goals, your family goals, and what your plan is with your finances. So 978 is this total. So we're going to take the 1097.44 and we're going to subtract the 978? Oh my gosh, let me add that up again. 987. Let me just put a little, this adds up to 987. So 1097.44 minus 987. All right, so this gives us the remaining balance, and I'm just going to put the total amount. So 110.44 is the plan, and we're going to see how our expenses go. But this is the plan to have this amount going towards savings, the other 10% going to tithe, and the 80% is going to expenses. So this totals the total income. So that's how I break it down. And that is my goal. Again, it doesn't always work out because some of my expenses come out earlier in the month. But for the most part, this is the guide that I have found been super helpful for our budget. So I'm just going to leave this aside and let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you so far. But as I mentioned, our tithe is the 109. And currently we're not going to set anything extra to offering at this time. So 109 is the total giving. So now let me go ahead and zoom you guys in to the expenses so that you can see what I'm writing and you can walk through this process with me. So using my bill tracker, these are the items that I have to pay. So the mortgage, I wrote this kind of ugly, sorry, but it says 368.33. So that's the first line that I'm going to fill in here is the mortgage is 368.33. Once I do that, I'm just going to put a little check mark to know that I completed that. The next item is the water, and it's $30. I have it written in like pencil or the erasable pen, but that's $30 that I want to set aside to water for next month. So water is getting $30. So I'm going to put a little check mark. And when I say set aside for these, I'm leaving it in my bank account. So I deduct it from my available balance in my checkbook register, and then I know that I have that in my bank account for when the automatic payment comes out. So that's why I'm setting it aside. Next is my car insurance, and that is getting $42.55. And again, we're just going to mark that off. Moving right down, we are seeing that $24.04 is being set aside to phone. So phone is getting $24.04, and we're going to mark that off. This here, I see that we've completed the payment. That's why I highlighted it for my life insurance. So $17.78 is going to life insurance, $17.78, and that has completed the payment there. Last thing on this list is my homeowners association. So I'm just leaving this in my bank account so that once the payment is supposed to be made, I can go ahead and pay that. So $12.75 is going to that. So this now has completed my bill tracker worksheet, and I will start using the next blank bill tracker to track for the rest of the month and into February. So I'm going to set the bill tracker aside since we know we've gotten all of our fixed expenses ready. We know that we are prepared for all of our fixed expenses. Now we have to think about what are the variable expenses, which is gas. It can be any other like variable. So for us, it's SunPass. I think those are the only two right now that I have. So what I have to pay for my SunPass, we're going to put a little bit more. That way I don't have to worry about being in the low balance alert when I go through the tolls. So based on how much we've been driving through the tolls, going to work and for entertainment and all of the things, we're going to put in $30. So that way I won't have to keep loading it week by week. It should have enough to last us at least like a week and a half or something like that. So $30 is being set aside and being added to our SunPass. And then the next item is our gas. So for this, because I no longer have a car payment, which is wonderful, but I do have an SUV. It's a larger car than what I had, but it's perfectly fine because I don't really drive far, but my husband does. So my husband has been using quite a bit of gas, so we want to make sure that we have enough in our bank account because we do use our debit card for gas. We don't withdraw the cash for gas because I'm sorry, I don't like to go inside. I like to just be by the car and be by the pump. I apologize for everyone who does have cash set aside for gas, but I don't know. I used to do it. I did it for maybe a few months and it just wasn't working for me. I wanted to just swipe and then be done. So that's the only time when I will use my card is for gas. Everything else I do have on auto pay and I withdraw for my sinking funds. So just keep that in mind. But gas, we are both needing gas to last us up until the next time we get paid. So we're setting aside $130 in our bank account. So now I've gotten all of my fixed expenses covered. I covered my variable expenses. You are probably wondering, Lizzie, well, don't you guys have to eat? Yes, we do, but I set aside in my cash envelope section for groceries. So now let's go ahead and just add up our expenses. So the total expenses is $655.45. And now we're gonna see what is the remaining balance. So it's $1097.44. And we're subtracting the $109. We're also subtracting the total expenses, $655.45. $332.99 is what is remaining. Now, let me bring this back. So we said that 80% of what our expenses are, so the amount of money that we want to pay out from this bank account, is $878. We've only paid $655. So we still have a cushion to apply to the different sinking funds or any other spending envelopes that we feel we want to set aside for. And again, you want to be realistic with your budget. So if you know that you're going to be away and you're not going to be able to be home to cook a meal, you might have to eat out. So you got to plan for those type of things. And so that's one thing that we realize that we have to plan better is our eating out budget. And we're trying to get better with that. Not to go out to eat, which we don't, but things come up and we end up going out to eat. But we gotta, make that plan. So be realistic. Know what your true spending habits are and know where you can pull back so that you won't spend or overspend in a specific category. So us looking over a budget, us looking over the week, we realized that we have a few things that we want to set money aside for in specific envelopes. So let's see how much money we have to be able to apply to specific sinking funds or other cash envelopes. So we're going to take that 878, which is that 80% that we planned for, that was our goal, and we're going to subtract the 655.45 to give us what is the total amount that we have to budget for. So I'm just going to write it right below here so that I can reference it in the future. So $222.55 is what would be a good number for us to apply to these different cash envelopes. So the first item that we are going to list is for groceries. And now groceries, we set aside $75 for this. And this is based on the formula that Jordan Page recommends. And I love how she does her meal planning and everything. She says that a good formula is to set aside $100 per person in your household, starting at $300. So if you're a family of 2, you set aside $300 for your grocery budget. If you're a family of 3, you set aside $300 for groceries in your budget. And some of you may be like, this is not realistic. Where I live, it's really expensive. Well, then up at $50 or up at $75, something like that. But just know that anything is possible. Everything is doable. You have to plan for it, and you need to go through your ads, find out what's on sale, make meal plans, look at your cabinets and your pantry, your fridge and your freezer, and figure out a menu that you can do for the week. So plan out however the time frame is until your next pay, what you are going to be cooking for those specific days. That's my recommendation. So $75 is what we're setting aside for groceries. And then here are the other envelopes that we are going to stuff. So let me just go ahead and zoom you guys in as I write this. Our anniversary is in September, and we're just wanting to put little bits of money in this envelope each pay, whatever we can, so we can plan something. We don't know what we want to plan, but maintenance, yeah, I spelled that right, I think, is getting 20. Christmas, it's crazy to see that we are setting money aside for Christmas, but I'm so excited to know that we are able to do this. And honestly, you are able to do this on any budget. You just have to make a plan. So date night is getting 20. Eating out, we're not putting that much in eating out. It's getting $15 because, guys, I got $70 in restaurant gift cards. So we are going to be treating ourselves, going out to eat for free pretty much. So I'm really excited about that. Home is getting $10. Our spending is getting $30. And vacation is getting $15. And the vacation, we're not going on vacation, but we want to use this for like the little weekend trips that we would like to take this year. And if we see a good deal on Airbnb or something, we'd like to like pull money from what we saved, because here in Florida, you can find really good deals and cheap vacations that is very memorable. So that's one of the goals that we have for this year, is just making memories. So this is what my budget looks like. And let's see if we are within that 222. Obviously I did this ahead of time before filming this, but this is kind of the process that I go through. So let's add this up. Yep. So the total cash for the cash envelopes is $222. Yay! We made it. So that means that this did work out. So $110.44 is what we would have left over. But let's see, because I know we had some change. So we're going to take that $332.99 and we're going to subtract that $222. So $110.99 is what we have left over. So for this paycheck, we are still not going to put anything extra to debt. This is going to be very soon. We will be able to apply and tackle our debt, which is very, very exciting. But again, everybody's budget is different. Everyone's situation, everyone's goals are different. So what may make sense for me may not make sense for you, and that is totally okay. You just do whatever is right for you and your family. Okay, so now we are going to get into the separating of our cash envelope, or our cash. Let's figure out how much cash we need for our envelopes. So I set aside money. I withdraw the money for tithe. So we're going to start with this one. So it's 109. I want to take out one $100 bill. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Groceries is 75. So we're going to take out 50, a 20, and a 5. Anniversary is getting a 20. Car maintenance is getting 20. Christmas is getting 15, 16, 17. Date night is getting a 20. Eating out is getting a 10 and a 5. Home is getting $10. Spending is getting 30. And then vacation is getting a 10 and a 5. All right. So this is 100, 150, 5 20s, 5 10s, 5 5s, and 6 1s. I have my cash all ready, so let's just make sure that I did this correctly. So we said we got one $100 bill. We have 150. We have 5 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10s. 5 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And lastly, we have 6 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our cash looks good. And let me go ahead and grab my cash envelopes. All right, so we're gonna start with our giving envelope, which is right here. And our giving is getting 109. So 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I just keep this here, I keep this home, and then when I'm ready for church, we just go ahead and grab that and I put it in my offering envelope. The next item is our anniversary, or oops, I skipped something, hello. Groceries is the next one, and I have that here in my wallet. So it's the first one because it's my most used envelope. And as you can see, I have been tracking a lot for this. And let me just mark today's date is the 23rd. And we are just adding $75. So that brings it to 75 as the balance in my grocery envelope. So I was getting 50, 20, and a 5. Okay, so that's what my grocery envelope looks like. Anniversary is getting 20, and that's right here. So it's getting $20. So for these envelopes, I do have this tracker, and this is available on my Etsy shop. It's just a simple tracker where you'll write in your cash envelope name, but I'm just putting $20. So right now we have $58 set aside for my anniversary, which it's in September, so we have time to make this grow. So this one is good. Car maintenance is getting $20. So here's the car maintenance. Let me get out the tracker. So we're adding 20. It's currently 65, so there's going to be 85 in this. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85. Okay. Christmas. This is getting 17, and my Christmas envelope looks like this. As many of you know, possibly, maybe you know, but I am a part of the Budget Moms Savings Challenge. But Christmas, she says that you should start saving for Christmas in the beginning of the year. So I've already done that so far. I've been putting little bits of money each paycheck. So for this one, we're putting $17, and I don't know how to do math. Hello. 74 plus 17. So right now there should be $91 in this account, or in this envelope. So 10, 15, 16, 17. Let me just double check that. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Right. So it's just taking little steps to be able to reach your goals. It doesn't really have to break your budget, but if you make little sacrifices here and there or sell something, you can reach your goals. Date night is getting $20. So I think the rest are pretty much in here minus the vacation. So let me open this back up. Date night, let me find that, because for whatever reason I don't have this in alphabetical order, but that's besides the point. Date night is getting $20. Grab a $20 bill from here. Eating out is getting 15. So this gets $15. Home is getting $10. So 123. So there's 14 in here now. Okay. And spending, which is this one right here, is getting $30. And the reason that I didn't separate like my spending and my husband's spending for this paycheck is because I plan on we want to go and get a few things together. So I just figured we would just keep it in the one envelope and just have it be for the both of us. Okay, so then that is everything for my wallet to be stuffed. The last item is our vacation, which is getting $15. So there's now $55 saved towards the vacation, and it's only the beginning of the month, guys. You see how no matter what budget you have, and obviously my pay tends to fluctuate here and there, but by making sacrifices, cutting back on expenses, you can reach your goal. And it could be slowly but surely, but I have $55 set aside for vacation, and it's for an overnight, and we're still going, and it's small amounts, $10, $15. We have, what was it that I said that we had set aside for car maintenance? We have $85 for car maintenance. This is to be able to do like oil changes in the future, which we have to have done, getting different things like new wipers. We need windshield wipers for one of our vehicles. Those are things that you can specifically set aside. It won't break your budget. $5 here, $10, $20, depending upon what you're able to squeeze out. And we have, what did I say for anniversary? We have $58 set aside for my anniversary. And it's just by setting aside little bits of money each pay, whatever we're able to. And it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad if you're only able to set aside $2 for a specific category, $2 for Christmas. That is amazing. You're working towards saving. And it's really by doing the cash method, the cash budget method, It really teaches you discipline, and it allows you to reach your goals, and truly with a visual of seeing the cash, you see that you're making progress. And I promise you, if you just try it, give it at least 3 months. 3 months of trying the cash budget method and really being realistic of your budget, only using the cash specifically for whatever category you set aside that money for. And I promise you, your world will change. Try it out for 3 months. Give it 3 months. I don't know why I came up with 3 months, but just try it and see if this will make a big difference in your budget. But that is everything for this budget video. I hope that it inspired you and it kind of gave you a different insight on my 80-20 rule and the cash envelopes that I use. But of course, with everyone's budget, it's totally different. That is the beauty of budgeting. So hopefully you find this encouraging and motivating to you. And I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.